6:00 a.m. the following Friday, rather than having JJ take me to the airport as I usually do, I called a cab and waited at the curb with 3 pieces of luggage and my laptop. I needed to be comfortable, so I put on my favorite extra-long black yoga pants, fitted red and black baby tee with my trademarked business slogan, "Cheers to New Careers," splashed across the front of a martini glass, and all-white classic K-Swiss gym shoes. When the taxi arrived, I didn't even wait for the driver to help me with my bags. I tossed them into the back seat, slid into the only open area left, slammed the door, folded my arms across my chest, and said, "Airport, step on it." Without saying a word, the driver looked at me, puzzled, pressed the meter, and pulled away from my broken home. After a long and silent 20-minute drive, I pulled a $50 bill from my bag, thanked the driver, and exited the vehicle. "Wait, miss, your change?" he said, as I jumped out of the passenger side. "Keep it," I said flatly. "Thanks for not talking. This might not have been so pleasant if you had," I continued as I yanked my bags from the back seat. The driver looked puzzled and cautiously closed the doors that I'd carelessly left open. I took a moment and attached each red leather bag to the other and started toward the automatic doors of the airport. I swore I heard someone calling my name. Desi. Desiree. I stopped, looked around, but didn't see anyone that I could immediately identify, so I continued my enraged walk toward the counter. Good. No line, I thought, as I approached the ticket agent. "Good morning. Where are you flying today?" the annoyingly perky ticket agent squeaked. "Far away from here," I snapped back. "Oh, that can be a good thing. And from the look of it, I hope it's the best destination to change your mood," she responded with effortless sarcasm. My eyes darted at the agent with a look that clearly said, "You can always be my next victim." But before I could reply with my snide comment, she added, "May I have your ID, please?" I fumbled around in my small red leather carry-on bag with my initials DET elegantly etched into each side until I found my identification. Here. "Thank you," she said with a fake smile, taking my license from my hand. "That's a really nice ring," she added, staring at the oversized 3-level diamond resting on my finger. I froze momentarily to process the ring and what she'd just said. Once again, before I could reply, she interjected another compliment. "I love your bag as well. You have great taste. I've never seen anything like that before. Definitely unique. Is that the name of the designer?" She pointed to the side etching. "No," I softened. "They're my initials. The bag was handmade special for me, a gift from my husband." I gave a half-hearted smile. "But the letters have double meaning. Don't even think about it." Surprised by my intentionally snarly, detailed answer, she slid my printed ticket across the counter while another attendant placed my checked bags on the conveyor belt. "Gate C35. Your flight is delayed. Have a great time." I snatched the ticket and strutted away to the security checkpoint, slightly embarrassed at how I'd just treated that poor, unsuspecting woman. I thought about going back to apologize when I felt a tap on my shoulder. "Hey." "Oh my gosh, hello!" I stopped strutting and gave the pleasantly surprised acquaintance a big hug. "You are a hard woman to catch up with," Raymond said, catching his breath. "What do you mean?" "I saw you when you arrived. I was calling your name, but I guess you didn't hear me." "Oh, that was you?" I blushed. "Where are you off to?" I quickly recovered. Here and there. You know." "I see," I said with a huge smile. Raymond was a sight to behold, always a gentleman. I took a brief moment to drink him. Catch your breath, silly. You chased me, and now you've caught me. My eyes scanned every inch of his 5'11" muscular, caramel-skinned frame. I wasn't sure if it was his hazel eyes, black curly hair, smooth skin, well-manicured hands and beard, you know, the thin line trace from ear to ear, round cheeks, or slightly deep baritone voice that got my panties wet every time we saw each other. But on this day, I didn't want to figure it out. I just went with it. I didn't care if it showed or not, but I guess it did. Before I could regain my composure, he leaned in to catch me with another hug. He smelled of Jean-Paul Gaultier cologne. I loved that fragrance. I bought it often enough for James. As I inhaled him, I heard the sound of him breathing in the scent of my hair, followed by the pulse of his penis pulse. This hug was a game changer. How could he know that I needed that hug? How could he be here, right now, at this exact moment? How was it that this man had all the perfect timing in the world? I could tell we'd held each other a little too long because we were startled when the woman from the counter interrupted us. "Excuse me, Mrs. Taylor?" We jumped and separated. "You took your ticket but left your ID." "Thank you. You're too kind." I smiled like I'd been caught with my hand in the cookie jar. This must be Mr. Taylor, the lucky man with the impeccable taste in jewelry and luggage. Raymond and I looked at the nosy attendant, then back at each other and laughed. "Yes," he looked at me. "Yes, I must be Mr. Taylor, the man with the impeccable taste in jewelry and luggage." He laughed harder as he reached for the handle of my carry-on bag and took my hand. We turned and walked toward the security check, glancing and giggling at each other. I had 2 full hours to fill before my flight departed, and I knew Tina wouldn't arrive until the absolute last minute. Even then, she'd probably need the captain to hold the plane. We walked slow, stopped for a scone, and chit-chatted about the weather, business, his latest girlfriend, and my marriage. Ray hung on my every word, and I on his. See, things with Raymond were always relaxed and simple. We'd met during a business meeting a few years back. He consulted on a construction project for a client we shared. I complimented him on the use of brownstone and Victorian architecture in his recommendations. We instantly connected on an intellectual level, and it didn't hurt that we were attractive individuals. "So, enlighten me about your husband," he eagerly asked. "It was simple. Now it's not," I answered shamefully. "So you like simple?" "Don't you?" I came back. Yes, I do," he said emphatically. "How do you stay so simple?" I inquired. "Easy. I just keep it simple." We burst into laughter, and he continued with an explanation. "Simple to me is going with what feels right and enjoying the moment. For example, it would be simple for me to take you into that family bathroom and lick your inner thighs until I land on the little almond in the center and tickle it with my tongue until you beg me to stop. That would be simple. Plus, I'd enjoy every minute." I swallowed my orange juice hard and tried not to choke as I stared him in the eyes. Every ounce of me believed he could feel my wetness from across the table. He confirmed it when he placed his large hands on my thigh and started to rub. "You would die if I said yes," I said, in an attempt to level the playing field. "You will never know until you say it." He locked his eyes with mine and challenged me. Yes, I didn't care, or at least I didn't want to. I stood, grabbed my bag, and walked across the lounge area to the family bathroom without looking back. I blocked out all traces of JJ and decided I wasn't going to allow personal points for good behavior. Why? All the faithful years didn't matter anyway. They meant nothing to him, so they shouldn't mean anything to me. I heard the door close and lock behind me. Raymond dropped his bag and placed his hands around my face, forcing his tongue into my mouth. I dropped my bag, too. We shared an equally deep and passionate kiss. He pulled down my pants and underwear in one move and placed me on the counter. This was dirty, and I loved it. It was not what a good girl, or wife for that matter, would or even should do. It was all wrong, and I wanted it. Fuck JJ. He can have that other chick. She was bold enough to come into my house, and he was dumb enough to let her, I rationalized. And I wasn't going to ever fuck Raymond. Just allow him to air my orchid, get on my flight, and start my vacation off right. My vagina throbbed with anticipation. Ray knelt before me, forced my legs apart, and didn't waste a nanosecond going in. He didn't bother tracing any part of my thigh as promised. He pointed his tongue like a dart and flicked the center of my cherry. My full head of feathered hair fell back, and I moaned in a low voice. "Nope," he said. What? "Nope." He moved his mouth back long enough to instruct me. "No holding back. I want to hear you." "Okay," I whispered. He plunged his face between my thighs and sucked and licked it in circles. "Oh, my gosh," I squealed. "Nope," he continued to slurp. "Oh," I moaned louder. "Nope." He sucked harder. My hands gripped his shoulders, and I noticed how my wedding ring sparkled under the fluorescent lights of the bathroom. "Yes! Yes! Oh, my God! Yes!" I came hard. He lifted himself from between my thighs with my creamy juices plastered over his face. "Do you know how long I've waited to do that? Again?" "No," I said, shaking my head with a smirk. "Since the day we met." "I always seem to have great timing," he said, standing. I sat up straight, then jumped down from the counter and reached for my pants. "Thank you," I said politely, stepping into my underwear. "You're welcome. The pleasure was all mine." With a gigantic smile, he assisted in pulling up my yoga pants. I wet a paper towel and wiped my excitement from his face. I broke the silence first. "I'm walking out first." "Be my guest," he laughed deep. I quickly picked up my bag, tossed the moist paper towel in the open trash can, adjusted my clothes along with hair, and walked out of the bathroom. I couldn't decide if I was happier at what had taken place or at the looks on the faces of the people sitting in earshot of my marital crime scene. Who cares? My gate was on the other side of the airport anyway. I don't have to board a flight with these looky-loos. "Don't judge me," I said as I laughed out loud. Seconds later, Raymond followed. He grabbed my hand when he caught up to me. I accepted for a few seconds, then released it. He looked at me, confused. "Simple," I said. "I've got to get to my gate. By the way, where's yours?" "It's on the way." "Well, give me my hug now." "Until next time, my friend," I said, pausing for the hug. He obliged, and we continued the stroll. We arrived at C-35, and there sat my best friend Tina, reading a magazine. I shot Raymond a play-it-cool look, and he nodded. "Hey, Tina," I said, snatching the magazine. "Hey, girl, are you ready?" she said, excited. "Oh, yeah, I'm definitely ready." I looked at Ray. "And who is this?" she questioned as she inserted herself between Raymond and I. "Well, excuse me. Dang. Tina, this is a colleague of mine, Raymond Humphrey. Raymond, this is my best friend, Tina Harper. Look at that. If we got married, I wouldn't have to change my initials." She laughed at her own joke. Okay. "Nice to meet you, Miss Tina Harper." Ray extended his hand. "And a gentleman, too." She extended her hand. "So, I see you ladies are off for a little fun in the sun in Tampa." "Yes, St. Petersburg to be exact," Tina informed him. "Oh, really?" He nodded, looking at me. "Flight 0929 now boarding," the gate attendant announced. "Well, that's us," I said in a sudden, desperate attempt to break up the conversation. "Where are the friendly skies delivering you, Mr. Humphrey?" "Looks like we're on the same flight." He looked at me, then back to Tina. "We will have plenty of time to catch up on the plane." My heart pounded through my chest so hard I thought Tina could surely see it. She didn't. She was too busy flirting with the man I'd just had a head affair with in the concourse bathroom. Tina inserted her arm around Ray's and commented on his muscles as I trailed behind them, all of a sudden wishing I had resisted my bad girl moment. The flight took off and landed without incident. As we exited the plane, Ray helped us with our bags, and we chit-chatted our way to the baggage claim. I was amazed at how easy it was for Ray to act nonchalant about what had taken place. We retrieved our luggage from the carousel and went to the car rental counter, where Ray jotted down his hotel information and cell phone number. I was amused at our choice of convertibles rentals and bid him goodbye. "Are the other girls here already?" Tina asked. "I think so. If not, they're not too far behind." We all came in on different flights, 2 by 2, from our respective parts of the world.